Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, as I am 4 times a week, Scott Haskin, here to bring you another Uriah Heep studio recorded song. And thanks to Uriah Heep for letting me do this. That is just, I've been at this for a while now, and I have to say, it still just makes me smile that they would allow that, It's really cool, I have to say. But today's song is really cool, and we're going to get into it here in just a moment. Just wanted to give you guys all a shout out. Thank you so much for listening to the show, those that do. Obviously, if you don't, you're not hearing that anyway. And thanks to all of you who share the episodes, who let people know about the podcast, who have left ratings and reviews. All that really helps. Haven't seen any ratings or reviews that are new in a while, but I see a lot of post shares and that. So thank you guys very much for doing that. It really helps get the word out. Finding other fans of Uriah Heep or people who maybe know who Uriah Heep are, but haven't really given them a chance yet. And that's what the show is all about. Helping people get in touch with this amazing music that I love so much. And if that hasn't been evident on just about every episode, I don't know what has. There's really only been a couple of songs out of all of these that we've covered so far where I've been like, not my favorite, but could still find some good things in there. And, with the number of songs that these guys have released, it's surprising that there aren't more that I am just like, but no, really, I have truly enjoyed all the songs. There's just, a couple that were a little less my favorites than others. But, I'm not shy about saying things I don't like, and it usually comes down to the technical side of things. The mix is usually where I have my issues. But apart from that, I love the band. I love the music. The guys that I've met have all been really nice. Exactly really what you'd want, like talented players, amazing writers, but also people that you could sit down and have a conversation with and, not feel like you didn't belong there. I mean, they're very welcoming, very great guys. So it's just so much fun and such an honor to do this show. I can't tell you enough how grateful I am for it. And I mean, obviously I put a lot of time into it, so it's valuable for me to do that and then to bring it to you guys, and hopefully you're enjoying it as well. So that's enough of me talking about stuff, except for the song, because that's what I'm here to talk about. Let's get into the song right now. We're going to talk about the song called "The Night of the Wolf" by Uriah Heep. Well, this is certainly something different. It almost sounded like, a concert ending to a song, and then they have those connective keyboard pieces in between. A little bit Emerson, Lake and Palmerish, actually, bit progressive, but something very unique that I haven't heard from Heep before. Really cool and unexpected. That part in the keyboard that goes da 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 da. That was actually also used in the video game Donkey Kong. That is the opening bit that they play, although there's a bit of a trill in it in the actual video game, in the arcade version anyway. And so that's kind of a nice little surprise. And this would be around that time. But definitely an interesting opening. Kind of don't know what to expect. It's a little bit ominous, a little bit creepy. Not really creepy, but just a little bit. It kind of foreboding, I think, would be about the right word I would use. Wow, that sounds so powerful. I love the way that they're playing that. The notes that they're choosing to play that familiar sound are really interesting. They're just going in a direction that I would not expect, but they sound really cool in that progression, I have to say. Love the snare instead of the hi-hat. I love riding on the snare a little bit with the stick when you can. Sounds really good. Just a nice addition to where we're at in the intro. Flowed really nicely into this. And it's very interesting, intriguing piece.
Streets are full of rain. Lightning cracks the sky. Hear a lonely cry. Eyes full of pain. Searching in the darkness. Eyes pierce the night. Calling for a young one. As she walks towards.
Well, this might be kind of weird to say, and it might not, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Too Scared to Run. It has that same kind of energy to it, maybe around the same tempo, but there's just something about the drive of it that really reminds me of that song. Could be the bass drum pattern to it too. I think that's a little bit similar to the chorus. But in any case, very powerful, sounds really good. Love the vocals on this. They're really just in there, sitting just perfect in the mix. And of course, you know, whenever we hear Peter Goalby, we hear that consistent power that he has in his voice, just born to be a vocalist for sure. And I love the synth work in here, especially right towards the end of that part that came in, just kind of defining the point of what the vocals were singing, just kind of added that in for emphasis. But really cool. Yeah, I love this. I really like the backing vocals continuing on for a longer period of time than the lead vocal on this. I think it really works. It really kind of feels a little bit gothic too, doesn't it? Just the tones that they're singing in just sound like something that you would picture almost like an old church or an old building with gargoyles on it. Just it has a real mystical feel to it.
Streets paved and cold. Night gives out a warning. There's thunder in her heart. And Mother Wolf is drowning, searching in the shadows for the one she must save. She cries out a prayer like a song from beyond the grave.
Yeah, this is kind of an epic song to me. You know, it sounds really rich and full. There's a lot going on. Backing vocals are making some fantastic choices on what they're going to do at the end of each verse, throwing in some different things each time. I love the variety of that. But the song just sounds so powerful and driving. There's really something about it. You know, I kind of feel like you're on a mission, but at the same time, you're just kind of taking in all these crazy things that are happening around you. Again, that addition of the synth at the end of that line in the verse really just solidified that part. This is a great song, and kudos to the bass too. I think what he's playing there is perfect for the song. It doesn't need to particularly be flashy because there's so much to pay attention to. So he's really helping to thicken up that rhythm. Easy for you to say. And really just make that rhythm section just rock solid.
It's the night of the world. Hear the cry of the world. The bells will tell, no one will sleep tonight. Rushing around the warm streets tonight.
I love the addition of the bells. That really just fits that whole, epic gothic feel I was talking about. But I kind of wish there was a little bit more to this part because that's really nice, and maybe it'll come up again later on in the song. But it was a really nice change. when you've got that pulse going, when you're just grinding with the song and it's just moving at that pace, sometimes it's a little dangerous to change anything too abruptly, but I think that worked really well. It wasn't so abrupt that it threw me off, but it was definitely different from what we were hearing prior to. And yeah, I could have used about double that length, and because I just really liked it. That was really cool. That was a good solo. I love the banter between the guitar and the keyboard. The only thing is that like the guitar kept going and the keyboard would just drop out completely here and there, or maybe it was just playing something that I wasn't detecting. But that was kind of weird. It would just like be gone all of a sudden. So, but the interaction between the two was great. And maybe that was the idea. Maybe just, like, hey, I'm here. Oh, you know what? You're going to squash me down. And you're going to keep playing their guitar. And I'm going to make a comeback. And you're going to squash me down again. I mean, I don't know what the idea was behind it, but I think that the interplay was great. It just was like weird that all of a sudden the keyboard wasn't there because it's playing higher frequencies, so they're very noticeable. And when they just all of a sudden drop out, it's something that you're definitely going to notice. But it's great playing from both of them. I couldn't do it. There is really something intriguing to me about the way they're singing She Walks Toward the Night. I don't know if it's because it doesn't change in pitch or doesn't seem to change in pitch. It almost has that illusion that the word night is sung slightly lower, but I don't think it actually is. I think it's sung pretty straight. And it's really interesting, just the sound of that, because you're expecting some kind of change. She walks towards the night, or she walks towards the night, something that would give you, a transition, but it's just sung pretty straight. And I think that that's a fascinating way to do it. It really unexpected, but it's Uriah Heep. Boy, if they really wanted to add a little more intensity, what they've done here has just taken it to the next level. I mean, that really choppy staccato sound that it sounds like an out of tune piano. It's definitely something that throws it all off a little bit. It adds that just air of uncomfortability because not everything is in perfect harmony anymore. I really dig that. And I've said it so many times, guys, it's that little one or two things sometimes that you can throw in there that just add such flavor that become a hook of the song. I'm sure that later on when I think about this song, I'll hear that part in my head. Like that's one of the first things that'll come in. It'll be that guitar riff. It'll be the snare work, the vocals, the backing vocals, and that just completely off key sounding. I'm not sure if it's a synth or a piano. It sounds kind of like a piano, but it's a little bit muddied up, so I can't tell exactly what it is. Okay, I'm going to say that was the piano after that last part where it got louder. It was a little clearer to me, and I'm going to say piano. What a great ending, though. I love the drama of that slowing down feeling when they go out of the piano part into that final section. I love that wind and sort of fluty wind chime feel afterwards as it faded out. There was a little sound. I don't know if that was the snare drum or not. Just a little bit of a buzz there as the song was just fading into nothing. But man, what a cool song. I don't know if this is one that they did live, but I would have to say this would be one that I would want to see live. It's got such a great energy to it. I think it would get people up and moving, and it's just a very powerful song. I really dig this tune. And, like I say on so many of these, it's one that I feel like I will listen to many times again. Usually for some reason, when I hear the word wolf is in the title of the song, I just immediately think of like Renaissance or medieval times or that sort of thing. And this was definitely not that. But yeah, definitely a great song. And it just goes to show, don't judge the song by the title, because you really don't know. And especially with this band, we never know what they're going to do with any song. They can just go in any direction they want and make it work. And I love that. So that's the show for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you all have a great weekend. Remember, do something for yourself and take a moment to do something for somebody else. You know, I see people post memes all the time. Like, I bet 10 of my friends won't post the suicide hotline and all that. You know what? Just reach out to people. That's what you need to do. Show people that you love them. Show people that you care about them. You know, just show people that you're thinking of them and that you're glad they're in your life. That's all. That's all it really takes. So you guys take care. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week for some more Magicians Podcast. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magicians Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!